Before I started this, over this past year, whenever I really just let myself go, for the first time ever, I started to experience problems with my blood pressure.
And yes, I am walking in my flip-flops because I'm only at 0.5 miles an hour. And what I had on, and I didn't feel like putting tennis shoes back on.
Okay, so this is what I didn't want to happen. I essentially work chest, back, biceps, pancreas, thyroid, all of the major muscle groups. I work those.
Good morning. Day 15, 75 hard. Let's do this.
I begin every day by reading my Bible, reading my 10 pages, journaling, and then spending a little bit of time in Duolingo.
All right, guys, 6:01. Let's get warmed up. And today we're going to get out for another low heart rate run. I'm really going to try to do 3 low, zone 2 heart rate runs a week and 1 higher VO2 max run a week. So this is a shift from what I've been doing for the past couple weeks. I'm just trying to get smarter about how I'm training, more focused. I want to build that base of endurance, really. And if I build that base of endurance, I'll be able to run longer. My body will be more efficient as far as how it consumes oxygen throughout the run. And that 5K that I've been chasing to get back, it'll just come if I do this right. Okay, so one thing you may have noticed by now if you've been following me this whole time, one of my keys to success with this program is just making my days as predictable as I possibly can. Now understand, not every day can be predictable, but the things that I can control, like what time I wake up and how quickly I get out the door to get a workout in, those are all things that I try to just be as much like clockwork as I possibly can be. Because the moment that I let those things slip, and next thing you know, I didn't get a workout in the morning, and now I'm playing catch up all day long, and my mind's not where it really needs to be. So just trying to be as regimented as I possibly can is huge for me. So it's really cold again this morning. It's 39 right now. So far, I'm having a bit of an easier time staying in zone 2. I'm not jumping up to zone 3 as easily, which is nice. Maybe I'll be able to maintain this jog and stay in zone 2 most of the time. That'd be great. Just hit 1 mile. So right now it seems like zone 2, a steady, consistent zone 2 equals about a 15-minute mile for me. So that can kind of be a bit of a baseline as my aerobic endurance improves. We should see me be able to stay in zone 2 and get that mile in less than 15 minutes because I'll have a faster pace, but my heart rate will be lower. I'm a couple miles in, still haven't stopped. So, doing really well, feeling good. Now, one thing that I haven't actually talked about is before I started this, over this past year, whenever I really just let myself go, for the first time ever, I started to experience problems with my blood pressure. So, every time I go to the doctor, my blood pressure would be high. elevated. And I was just feeling really terrible. And I knew I wasn't, healthy and doing everything I needed to be doing and stuff, but even at my unhealthiest, I've always been one of those people who my blood work's been perfect, my blood pressure's been perfect, even when I was overweight and out of shape. And this was the first time that I guess my age was really catching up with me and all my bad habits, and my blood pressure was elevated. So for me now, switching to this low heart rate training is not only because I think it's the smart thing to do on my journey to become an athlete, I'm really hoping that it's going to lower my resting heart rate and help my blood pressure out, because I really want to get my blood pressure back in order so I don't have to go on any kind of medication or anything like that. So one other thing that I've noticed about this now, this being my second time doing 75 hard and doing it from a place of being really unhealthy. So I was really unhealthy the first time around, and I was really unhealthy even more so this time around, is those first few weeks, man. And I know I'm only at the beginning of week 3 right now, but remember, I started eating clean and at least moving a week before I officially started. So I was detoxing my body, and those first few weeks, when you're kind of detoxing from all the sugar, and for me, since I've also given up social media, it was like detoxing from all these addictive things, just kind of resetting my brain, sugar, dopamine, but then also you're just starting to move again. Cardiovascular health is really far down. Your body's not used to it, you're sore. And it's so hard. It's literally like the analogy of pushing the boulder up the hill. And that's what it feels like. And every day you just have to get out and keep going. But what I've learned is that there comes a point where you start to experience this exponential growth and improvement, meaning all the detoxing is done. Your body starts to feel better. You start to feel more focused and clear. You don't have the headaches from not having sugar, things like that. But then also, you're just out moving, so your cardiovascular health starts to improve. It's not as much of a struggle anymore. And then, in addition to that, you're dropping weight. So like me, I've dropped 15 pounds or something like that up to this point. And the combination of having lost so much weight, especially when a lot of it is fat, like I did, and your improved cardiovascular health, you just start to see improvements come faster and faster and faster, because now you're more fit and you weigh less. And if you can just remain consistent, I believe that'll be your experience as well. And so like what's happening with me right now is the shift that I remember happening the first time I did it, where I went from like, oh, I just gotta get out and move, and I just gotta check off all this stuff for the day to complete the program, to where it's like, okay, now I find myself thinking more and more about how can I challenge myself? What am I gonna do? What really hard physical goals am I gonna set for myself? What race am I gonna try to run? What's next? And it's less about just surviving and more about thriving. So if you just can get started, stay consistent, stick with it, you will see improvements, and they'll start to come fast.
All right, guys, there it is. I actually went 50 minutes. You notice 3.26 miles, average calories, or active calories, 484, total calories, 592. And let's go down here and look at where I was for heart rate zone. Zone 2, 37 minutes, 42 seconds. So that was awesome. You can see towards the end, I started to peak into zone 3 a little bit more. But here's the bigger thing, y'all. That's, how many miles did I say that was? 3.26 or something like that. Yeah, 3.26. The moment I quit focusing on trying to get my 5K back to where I could run without walking, I did it. I ran that whole 3.26 miles without walking. Now, granted, that's a very slow 5K. I was, staying in zone 2, but I didn't walk at all. Didn't walk a step. Felt like I could have gone so much further. So, yeah, that feels good. That feels real good. It would be great whenever I get my speed back along with that. But just to be able to run that distance without walking again feels like a major leap forward. And it's only day 1 of week 3. So it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. That's what consistency will do. All right, I'm going to go get cleaned up and get to work. I've got about 5 minutes before I got to get started. Hey folks, just a quick update. It's coming up on 11 o'clock now. I've been in meetings non-stop since I started working. I'm almost through with my first half gallon of water here. Got my liquid IV in there. I did order some other electrolytes since I've only got 1 packet of liquid IV left, just to see if I can get a little bit more bang for my buck as far as my daily electrolyte intake goes. Anytime that I'm actually running or anything, liquid IV is going to be the go-to. Also, I do have my desk up today, and I'm on my walking treadmill just to really get the juices flowing as I'm working through some of this more just deep thinking, type of work that I have to do right now. Overall, it's been a good day so far. The days are just flying because I'm so busy. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be working. I'm blessed to have the job I have and the people that I get to work with. So no complaints here.
And yes, I am walking in my flip-flops because I'm only at 0.5 miles an hour. And what I had on, and I didn't feel like putting tennis shoes back on.
Such a great little treadmill for the desk, y'all. Honestly, I love it. Alright, so I've done just over 45 minutes here walking and working. Just want to let you see 3,400 steps, a little over. Now that's not going to be reflected on my Apple Watch because the Apple Watch relies on wrist movement essentially. And I'm up here, I'm working, I'm typing, I'm using my mouse. So I want to find something that I can kind of strap around my ankle or something like that that'll maybe count those steps and feed it into Apple Health. That would be awesome. So that way that those steps will be accounted for in my daily total. But overall, I know I did another, 3,600 steps or whatever it is. And it went by super fast because I was busy, focused, and working. So love this thing. It's awesome. 12:48, just shy of 1 p.m. Time to go get a refill. Guess where I'm heading? Bet you can't. All right, it's about 3:30. Just picked up one of my kiddos from school. And I am headed to the gym. Yep, if you followed this, then you know that I have actually never gone to the gym because I have no idea what I'm doing in there. But I do have a gym membership that I bought because I thought, I'm going to learn. And I've never been able to talk myself into kind of going and doing it. And today, as the day was just moving on, I was thinking, I really do want to take seriously trying to build some muscle, especially become stronger in upper body strength so that I can do better in some of the obstacle course races and things like that, and also just to build a more aesthetically pleasing body that I'll be happy with. And I just decided, today I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna see what happens. Ironically, I really don't want to get nervous about much of anything, but I am nervous because it's totally, uncharted territory for me, and I don't like to feel stupid or look stupid. Well, I guess I don't mind looking stupid. I don't mind looking stupid whenever I'm like trying to look stupid, but when I'm not trying to look stupid and I look stupid, I guess I do mind it. But yeah, I probably won't film much because I don't really want to be that guy we'll see what the environment's like. Maybe I can catch a little clip here or there, but mostly I'm just going to be filling it out today. There it is. So one thing I did do was I downloaded an app and I looked up some different exercises and stuff like that I could do, and I've got that ready to go, so we'll see how that goes for me.
I really didn't feel comfortable recording in the gym, so instead I took some of this footage. Here I did this thing, and I show you this, and then I did this other thing, and it works out your back muscles. Then I sat on this thing, and it did some other stuff. I did this one, and it worked on my triceps. And I finished off my time in the gym on the treadmill.
I did it, y'all. I did it. I actually went to the gym, and I lifted weights. Now, the plan that I had, where I made myself a little workout plan, a lot of the machines that I wanted to use, like the Smith machine and the cable machines and stuff, there were just a ton of like bro dudes over there in that area that would lift a couple reps and then just stare at themselves in the mirror for a long time. So I didn't want to go over there. That felt a little awkward and intimidating for me. So instead I just stayed on the regular machines, I guess it is. I don't know. But I did like a bench press machine. I did, I don't know. I did a whole bunch of machines. I got them, written down, but I essentially worked chest, back, biceps, pancreas, thyroid, all of the major muscle groups. I worked those. Okay. So I did about 30 minutes of actual machine work. And then for the last 15 minutes, I jumped on the old trusty treadmill, which, by the way, their treadmills are way nicer than mine. But yeah, I'm proud of myself. I went in there and I did it. I honestly spent the first few minutes just walking around trying to figure out, like, what the heck are these machines? And could I find machines that were close to the workouts that I was, hoping to do? So, like with the Smith machine, I wanted to do that one. Instead, I found a bench press machine, and I did that instead. So I think it all worked out. Time went by pretty good. I think I'm going to be super sore. So yeah, accomplishment. I did it. Okay, here's everything I did. And I did get some little videos just of the machines, so I'll show that. But that's what I ended up doing. Bench press, assisted pull-up, pectoral fly, row, triceps extension, and biceps curl. And then ended with some treadmill. And it has now been 21 hours, so I am going to break my fast here. I am very hungry. And breaking my fast, I'm going to finish off the last of my wife's gumbo, which again is just chicken and sausage and shrimp and a cup of white rice. It's 2 servings of gumbo there, so finish that off. And I've got a protein shake as well, and then I'll also eat some more for dinner here in a couple hours. All right, everything's a mess out here since all the rains, just excuse that, but I do think I am going to take a little bit of time and cook up some fajitas here so that I serve my family and also potentially give us some protein to use for meal prep later this week. Okay, once again, if you've seen me cook, you know I'm going to keep this super simple. I can cook a lot of things really well, including what I'm cooking today, being fajitas or skirt steak and ribs and brisket and things like that. But when you're trying to cram in as much as I'm trying to cram into a day right now and still have time to, have a little downtime in the evening so you don't go crazy, you just can't get too wild with what you're doing to prepare food. So with this stuff, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm just going to trim off some of the thick, fat that may be on there, anywhere I see it if it's excessive. Outside of that, I'm really not going to do much to it. This is not my good knife. Oh my gosh, what am I using here? Might as well be using a doggone butter knife. Alright, got a better knife now. Let's just, again, I'm not going to get crazy about it. Also, I'm kind of racing against the daylight here, so it's not going to be perfect, but we will clean up a little bit here. Alright, for the seasoning, I'm keeping it real simple, y'all. It's just that Fiesta Fajita seasoning. I'm telling you, I have tried marinades, I have tried Italian dressing. I've tried all kinds of things, and this stuff right here, at least for what our family likes, tends to make the best fajitas. The key is you got to go a lot heavier than you think you need. So when I'm applying this, I'm applying a very heavy coat on here. So essentially just think about like what's reasonable and then exceed that. And I don't add any additional salt or anything because there is salt and garlic powder, and there's a tenderizing component to this as well. So there's an enzyme that will work to tenderize the meat. So typically you want to put this on, you want to let it sit for about 30 minutes or so for that tenderizer to really start to activate. And I'm telling you, like, this is what we like, and it's so simple, it's so easy, and everybody that eats my fajitas says, you know, like, man, how'd you get those so good? And I won't tell them my secret, but this is it. It's pretty simple. So this is how heavy I went with these. So like I say, you start with what you think is reasonable, and then you go heavier. And I mean, they're just so flavorful and awesome. And ideally, if you could let those sit, like I say, for about 30 minutes, that's the best. Today, since I'm losing daylight, I probably won't wait for that, but they're going to be great. All right, looks like the coals are ready. So far, I really like this Fogo charcoal. I'm really impressed with it. It's not all hype, y'all. It's not all hype. Like I say, so today I'm trying to go hot and fast. I've got 3 big cuts of meat, so I'm going to spread these coals out a little bit here. Had some coals in there from the other day. Hopefully they reignite a little bit. Get a nice good bed going. Close that lid up and let that heat up for just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit all 6 on here at the same time. So I know cooking is one of those things where everybody has an opinion, everybody has the right way. So how do you cook fajitas? What do you like to season them with? Do you like to use a marinade? Do you prefer charcoal? Like I've got, of course, the big griddle here. You know, of course, I've got a smoker. I just prefer charcoal whenever it comes to fajitas. I find that the low and slow doesn't really work for me with fajitas. Hot and fast, and that nice charcoal flavor is just what works. Also, I know that there's varying schools of thought as far as doneness with fajitas. Personally, I like most of my red meat like a medium, but when it comes to fajitas, really fajitas need to be cooked all the way through. It's what I find that's how people tend to like them the most. But for my family, we do prefer just a little bit of pink on the inside. So that's probably how I'll do it today. Okay, see that right there? See that pooling that's taking place there? That's really what I'm looking for. So this grill, you know, it's hotter right there in the middle where most of the coals are. So this one's gonna be more done. But now if I take this and I flip it, you can see there it's got a real nice char to it. This one's probably not gonna be anywhere near as much. So this kind of tells me now I can take this one and I can move it over closer to the center of the grill. Okay, yeah, so these two are on the hotter parts of the grill. So let's bring this one over here, since this is apparently a hotter part of the grill. This one over here, this one over here. But that sear is exactly what we're after there. We didn't quite get it on these other two yet, so I'll probably have to flip them again. And I may have to, move some things around to get a nice sear on the other side of these guys. But that's what we're going for. Okay, so this is what I didn't want to happen. It is pretty dark out here. I know this camera has great low light sensitivity, so you can't really tell. But I'm having to use my light on my phone just to see kind of how the meat is doing. Not great. Okay, so here's what we ended up with. Oh, steamed up the camera. We got to let these rest a little bit before they'll be ready to cut. But yeah, they look pretty good. What do you think?
Ready to eat them.
Okay, so like I was saying, this is how we like ours. About a medium, a little bit of pink in the middle. I didn't let this rest long enough, but you can just see how juicy it is. Was it juicy, son?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, you guys. So here, I'm gonna eat. Oh yeah. Okay, there it is. There's dinner. 8 ounces of fajita. So I've got about 6 ounces on the plate right now, but I've been snitching. So a cup of white rice and 120 grams of green beans. Pretty simple. All right, folks, it's about 15 to 8. I got all cleaned up. Feel good. Now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to enjoy some Monday Night Raw. Really the first time I've sat down today. About 10 o'clock. Wrestling just got over. A little later than I normally go to bed, but wanted to watch it. Let's wrap up. Here we go. There's a summary for today. 1,359 calories, 103 exercise minutes, 14,288 steps. But that really should be about 17,000, somewhere around there, because I had those 3,500 calories or whatever it was earlier. Steps that didn't get recorded on my Apple Watch. There's my 3 workouts: outdoor run, strength training, and then the elliptical walk. 75. MyFitnessPal. Here, there's my total calorie count for the day, 1,590, so almost right at 1,600. I've got that gumbo and rice that I ate for lunch, along with the protein shake. Then for dinner, I guess I added my green beans to my lunch. Oh well. Dinner, I've got that cup of white rice and the 8 ounces of skirt steak and the green beans. So just under 1,600 calories. Pretty good day. What else? Oh, I started fasting at 6:58, so I can eat tomorrow around 3 p.m. And other than that, let's come over here and do this. First workout done. Second workout done. I already took my picture. 10 pages. Drink a gallon of water. Oh, I don't have my jug in here, but I did finish my gallon of water. I finished it quite a bit earlier, actually. Follow a diet. No cheat meals. And for me, no social media. Boom. Day 15 is done. Save that for tomorrow. And just like that, only 60 days left. It seems like such a long ways away whenever you say it like that, but it'll be here before we know it. 60 days to go. I'm tired, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you back here tomorrow.